Hey there, and welcome to day 2 of the 12 days of strategic planning.
Here we are, day 2.
I'm Carla.
I'm Olivia.
And today we're going to talk about reflection. So the New Year workbook for creatives in business is divided into 3 main parts for both business and personal. And the first one is reflection. So obviously, when you're thinking about making plans, you want to think about like what has gone well and what hasn't.
It's true. Yes. So from a personal standpoint and from a business standpoint, thinking about past accomplishments, what went really, really well, what were you happy with in the past year, did your business grow personally, where did you see growth in your relationships or just in your personal spiritual journey, and then also what didn't go so hot. This is a part that I don't like as much. Yeah. But really thinking about where would you have wanted to see change? What did you feel like just didn't quite hit the mark? Yeah, both personally and from a business standpoint. Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about the personal section and thinking about reflection is it asks you, did you set any New Year's resolutions, or like did you establish any goals that you wanted to achieve for the new year, for 2019? And then it asks you, what kind of habits did you develop throughout the year, whether they were good or bad? And then based on those habits and the intentions that you set, it's going to ask you, what were your priorities? Not like what in your head were your actual priorities, but like based on your actions.
What did you prioritize?
Yeah, what did you prioritize? And so that can be a hard thing. It is for me to reckon with, that like maybe the things that I established as intentions at the beginning of the year weren't actually things that I ended up prioritizing.
Right.
So, but it's a really important piece, because then when you go to make plans, you can reverse it and establish, okay, so what are my priorities?
Right.
What are the habits that I need to establish to make sure that my priorities stay in focus, and then setting intentions for those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really important flip to sort of, again, the whole point is to be more strategic about how to follow through and how to really set the habits in place that you need in order to achieve your business and personal goals.
Yeah. I will say the one other thing about reflection that has been really great, like being in partnership with you specifically, because you're not the kind of person who's going to spend hours and hours reflecting on how things went.
I'm really not.
Whereas in past years, I would like take a day and I would go to a coffee shop and I would like write down everything that happened and like how did I feel about it all, and it would take me hours. So we've tried to create a balance between like reflecting on things enough to the point where you understand how things went and like what went well, what didn't, but not spending your entire life wallowing in what didn't go well. Or
Yeah. And I also think having a plan, like, okay, here are your priorities, here are the habits you need to, have into effect, and then in order to achieve X goal. I think having that kind of formula is important, because otherwise it's just kind of like, okay, go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's sort of empty. And I feel like that's kind of the problem with New Year's resolutions. A lot of us are like, oh, I'm going to do this thing.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It typically doesn't happen, and I think there's not a lot of follow through because there aren't steps in place to really make it successful. And so that's kind of the idea behind this.
Awesome.
Yay.
Reflection.
Day 2.
Check back in tomorrow for day 3. We're going to talk about vision. Now that you've reflected, how do you look forward into the new year for what you want to achieve? Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 12 Days of Strategic Planning series. Whether you've been tuning in to the videos or to the podcast, we so appreciate your support. If you want to connect further, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at heytherecreative.co. You can find us on our website, heytherecreative.co. Or you can search Hey There Creative on Etsy to find our shop.